Imagine money isn't just paper. It's a spotlight. It shines on who you truly are, what you secretly want, what makes you scared, and most importantly, who has a grip on your life. Everyone wants to grab it. Most spend their lives chasing it, but very few truly get what money is. They call it freedom, or a score. But an old thinker, Machiavelli, saw it as something else. He said money was just influence, made easy to see. He warned that if you don't know how money is used to push people around, to pull their focus, and to show their real motives, you will be caught by it, even if you think you're free. The simple truth is, most people don't use money. They are used by the idea of money, believing it makes them strong. But for Machiavelli, power was different. He didn't care about luxury, he cared about how money could make others bend to his will without a single fight. So let's learn the real rules of money. Not how to get rich, but how money makes the world move around you. If you're finding value in this deep dive, take a moment to subscribe to the channel to continue your journey with us. Chapter 1. Money shows your true colors. You've seen this play out. Someone suddenly has more cash, they win a lottery, get a big job, and boom, they start acting different, louder, more demanding. They think the money has made them better. But watch closely, truly strong people don't change. Only the unsure ones do. Money doesn't build character, it just makes bigger what's already inside. A timid person might hide behind their new fancy car. A sly person suddenly becomes helpful, but only if it gains them something. A foolish person buys what they think smart people own. So the first big lesson is, don't chase money to feel important. Chase clear thinking, self-control, smart plans, and a good name. Let money become a clear sign that you are in control, not the source of your control. Otherwise, you'll get rich and still be weak. And there's nothing sadder than a person with a lot of cash but no real respect. Machiavelli watched leaders lose their power, not because they ran out of money, but because they believed their gold made others fear them. He knew true power is when people change their actions before you even speak, not because of how much you have, but because of what's in your mind. Chapter 2. Don't show off your wealth. Our world is obsessed with showing off. Expensive gadgets, big houses. People tell everyone how much they're worth, as if it's their best trait. But Machiavelli would see this as a big risk. Because once people know what you have, they start planning how to take a piece of it. He taught a rule few understand: keep your power by keeping secrets. Never let your money talk louder than your plans. If your money is the loudest thing about you, you've already lost. You've just shown everyone where your weak spots are. So what does a smart person do? They build their wealth quietly. They collect resources through smart steps, not big flashy shows. And they let others think they have a little less than they really do. There's nothing more dangerous than someone whose full strength you can't measure. Let people guess about your money, let them doubt. It's much better if they think you're just getting by, when secretly you're moving all the pieces on the board. That's how you operate unseen. That's how you act by surprise. That's how true power is built, far from public eyes. Chapter 3. Control your own money. Here's a common trap. People think earning money means they're in charge. But if your money can be frozen, taxed heavily, changed, or even taken away by someone else's decision, you don't truly own it. You're just renting it. Machiavelli feared this more than being poor, relying on others. The moment your well-being depends on something another person controls, you become easy to manage. Ask yourself, is your income tied to someone else's good mood? Could your whole life fall apart with one phone call? Is your financial strength built on systems that aren't truly yours? If your answer is yes, you're not free. You might have nice things, but you're still limited. The person who controls the food supply always controls the animal. So the smart person doesn't just earn money, they build fortresses around it. They create many ways to make money. They have assets that others can't easily see. They make sure their income doesn't rely on getting applause, following trends, or weak connections. They build wealth that lasts even in quiet times and safety that doesn't need people to like them. Because once you've made someone depend on you for money, you don't need to argue, you don't need to threaten, you don't even need to speak. They'll censor themselves. They'll apologize before you even get upset. They'll do what you want, calling it a fair deal. And that is real power, not control by making them scared. Not control by being famous, control by the simple pull of economics. The people around you orbit you, not because you forced them, but because your financial setup has more pull than theirs. That's Machiavelli's true definition of wealth. Not just cash, but influence that gets stronger over time, even in silence. If you don't learn how to build that, you'll spend your whole life making money for others, living in a false sense of comfort, while someone else decides if you succeed or fail. So don't just chase income, build real independence. Not the kind you post online, but the kind no one can see and no one can take. That's the foundation. And if you can master that, you won't need to look powerful. You'll feel it. Every time you walk away without worry. Every time you say no without shaking. Every time someone realizes you're the only one in the room who doesn't need anything from anyone. That's how money truly works. Not through obsession, not through showing off, but through planning so deep the world calls it luck, while you simply smile and keep building. Chapter 4. Money is a test for others. People will say they like you, they'll say they believe in you, they'll promise never to betray you. And then money appears. And that's when you see their true nature. Unlike feelings or words, money forces people to make real choices. It creates tough trades. Temptations. Threats. Give someone power over your income and watch how fast their kindness changes to conditions. Offer someone a payment, see how quickly their loyalty melts. Or worse, watch what happens when you get rich and they don't. Suddenly, your success makes them unhappy. Your growth seems suspicious. Your rise becomes proof that they feel left behind. Machiavelli didn't trust people who only admired him when he had little. He watched how they acted when money was around. Did they feel happy or jealous? Did they ask how to help or question your right to it? Money doesn't change people. It just shows who they were pretending not to be. And that's why a smart person never announces their wealth. They use it wisely to test others, true character without warning. They might offer a chance, a position, a taste of an advantage, not to be kind, but to see how that person handles a bit of power. If they get proud, the chance is gone. If they become too needy, distance is created. If they get greedy, they're cut off. This is using money like a strainer. Not everyone deserves to be close to your financial comfort. Some people are only loyal when they're cold. Once they're warm, they forget who built the fire. So your job isn't to keep money a secret. Your job is to watch what happens when people think you're rich and use their reaction to understand who they truly are. Chapter 5. Control the flow, control the game. There are two kinds of people, those who want money, and those who know others want it more, and use that desire to lead them. The weak talk about getting rich. The strong talk about building systems that make people rely on them to survive. Machiavelli never worshipped gold, he studied what it did to people. And he saw something most still miss. The one who gives out the money controls what everyone who wants it does. That's why kings had their people. That's why today's billionaires don't argue, they just decide where the money goes. Want to become powerful? Stop chasing income like someone begging. Start thinking like a builder. Ask, how can I create something others really need? How can I get a skill that gives me real power? How can I move from being someone who buys things to being the one who provides them? The person who pays others never begs. The person who owns the meeting doesn't ask for a seat. And once you control where the money flows, you don't have to trick anyone. People will trick themselves to get close to you. That's the game. Not by working harder, not by earning more, but by creating value that others depend on. And the harder you are to reach, the more important that connection feels. Chapter 6. Let them chase prizes, you chase power. This is how you win without fighting. You let others chase the paycheck, the promotion, the big win, the fancy title, the trophy. And while they run, you quietly study the bigger picture. You build hidden influence. You pay attention to the unspoken signals. You move slowly, steadily, without celebrating small wins or letting small losses bother you. Because the truly smart person knows, money is just the lure. The real prize is power. Let them celebrate their raise. You focus on owning the system that creates all the paychecks. Let them fight over small amounts. You stay focused on your strong position. Let them spend years climbing career ladders. You build reliance, the one thing that makes people serve you long after any simple deal ends. Money can run out, but a debt of value, social, emotional, deep down, lasts a lifetime. The wise don't get rich to be admired. They get rich to have choices, to walk away from things others desperately cling to say no while others beg for yes. Machiavelli would never waste time showing off wealth. He'd sit in a room, watch who moves when money is talked about, and then decide who's useful, who's dangerous, and who's easy to read. That's real control. Not from noise, not from greed, but from understanding how money reveals what people hide. And once you master that, you won't just make money, you'll master the machine behind it. And you'll never have to chase anything again. Chapter 7. Comfort and fear, your tools. To truly get money, stop seeing it as just a goal. Money isn't just a trophy, it's a weapon, and like any weapon, its true value is not in having it, but in how skillfully you use it. That brings us to an important rule. People don't work hard just for money. They work hard to not lose the life money gives them. Once someone gets used to a certain income, a certain way of life, or a certain good name, they become emotionally tied to it. Their very sense of who they are gets mixed with what their money allows them to have. Give someone just enough comfort, just enough status, just enough visibility, and then watch what happens when they feel it might slip away. They'll make painful compromises. They'll do more than they want. They'll start holding back their true thoughts. They'll obey. This isn't cruel. It's simply understanding how worry about money shapes decisions far more powerfully than simple logic ever will. Machiavelli would use this not to hurt, but to gain a strong position. He'd never threaten someone directly. That's too obvious. He'd simply let them feel a bit uneasy. He might delay a payment, pull back a small favor, look away for a bit. Make them wonder, not panic, just wonder, if they've lost their place. In that quiet doubt, people show how deeply they're tied to their comfort. The truth is, most people will do anything to avoid going backward in life, not because they're greedy, but because they've linked their sense of self-worth to how they live. So the game isn't just to give people money, it's to give them an identity that money supports. Then sit back and see how far they'll go to keep that identity. This is how powerful groups kept their influence, not with battles, but with regular payments, with special titles, with signs of privilege that could be taken away at any moment. When you give someone comfort that feels earned, but is still fragile, You control them without ever raising your voice. Chapter 8. Respect is earned, not bought. The world has been told a lie that wealth automatically brings respect, that people will treat you better the more you show your money. But Machiavelli saw through that. He knew that when you walk into a room and flash your wealth, you're not impressing people, you're asking them to judge you. They measure what you have, what you wasted, what you lack in good taste, what it would take to replace you. Truth is, wealth makes people admire you only if they want what you have. But truly powerful people, they don't admire your lifestyle. They measure your smart moves. So when you act from a place of insecurity, trying to look rich instead of acting wisely, you invite trouble. People will smile at your success while looking for your weaknesses. They will use your outward show of power against you. That's why Machiavelli would say, never show the world how much you need their praise, they'll use it to trap you. So here's how a smart person handles wealth. They don't show it off. They show self-control, not dollars. Careful action, not expensive things. Influence, not luxury. They may own everything, but you'll never know, and that's their advantage. When no one can see your full strength, no one can plan how to break it. The quiet rich person? They are dangerous. Because they never needed your approval, and they don't fear your judgment. Chapter 9. Be strong without it. This is where everything changes. Most people are terrified of losing money because it means losing who they think they are. But the wise person learns to be separate from money. He earns it, he uses it, he grows it. But he never lets money define him. Because the strongest message you can send in any situation, business, love, any conflict, is this: I can walk away, and you can't. That simple truth changes every interaction. It makes people chase you, not because you're richer, but because you're truly free. You don't need the deal, you don't need the attention, you don't need to prove you belong, because you know that even if the money disappeared, you'd rebuild it. Not by luck or begging, but from the same inner strengths that made you powerful in the first place: self-control, sharp thinking, smart plans, patience. This is how money truly works. It isn't random, it isn't magic, it's a system. And the ones who master it are the ones who stop chasing it with their feelings and start using it like a smart planner, quiet, precise, not attached to it, unafraid, unable to be tricked. That's when the world shifts, not when you get rich, but when you become the force that decides who else does. And when you reach that level, money isn't the goal anymore. It becomes what it was always meant to be, an extension of your mind. Not your master, not your identity, but a mirror, one that shows not what you have, but who you've become. To truly master money like Machiavelli, stop treating it like a finish line. Money isn't just a reward. It's a tool, and like any tool, its value is not in having it, but in how skillfully you use it. That leads us to a crucial understanding. Chapter 10. Never show the how, only the what. Everyone today wants to be a guru, to show their secret plan, sell their methods, turn their success into a step-by-step guide. But the wise person never fully reveals the whole system. He lets people benefit from the good results, but never truly understand how the process works. Because once they know the system, they can copy it. And once they can copy it, they don't need you anymore. So what do you do instead? You give just enough to keep them interested. You give value, but not the detailed instructions. You give good results, but not an easy way to repeat them. This is how old powerful groups worked. The elite didn't just build wealth. They built secrecy. They taught their children how to manage it, but they never taught the common people how to do it themselves. The more mysterious your success, the more legendary you become. And that image is worth more than money itself. It becomes a kind of power, not financial, but psychological. People will trust your advice, repeat your words, follow your plans, not because they fully understand them, but because they work. And once they believe in your results more than they believe in their own ideas, you've taken control of their financial story. That's how you stop being just a money source and start being a source of important guidance. And when they see you that way, they'll never dare to compete. They'll only want to stay close. That's how you become someone no one can replace. Chapter 11. Give with Purpose. Use invisible bonds. Machiavelli saw giving differently than most. Where others saw kindness, he saw it as power. He didn't give to be liked. He gave to create a sense of duty. The truth about people is, they rarely forget their pain, but they feel forever tied by unexpected help. And when you give in a way that feels rare, specific, and generous, people will link their own self-worth to the moment you helped them. They won't say it aloud, but deep down, they'll feel a private debt. That's how strong connections are made, not with spoken promises, but with smart acts of help. The key: never announce it. Never expect thank yous. Never repeat the favor unless it keeps you in power. Your help must feel both very special and not something that happens all the time. That makes it sacred, and people protect what they feel they might not receive again. You don't want to be seen as just a generous person. You want to be seen as the only one who can help in a tough situation. That's when guilt, loyalty, and quiet obedience begin. Not from trickery, but from memory. Once someone starts making their choices based on what they owe you, you no longer need to lead. They will follow, on their own. Machiavelli called this quiet power. The ability to shape the emotional give and take around you, not by force, but by unspoken agreements. Chapter 12. Your power is quiet, not loud. This is what truly powerful people have, that merely rich people don't. The rich talk about money. The powerful don't need to. They live in spaces where wealth is the solid ground, not the main topic of conversation. They are with people who understand value naturally, not just emotionally. They've moved past the chase. They've reached a balance, where money is not who they are, but a tool they use. And that's the final goal. You don't want to be the one always talking about income, taxes, or deals. You want to be the one who sits silently in a meeting, says little, signs the important paper, and walks out while everyone else is still arguing. You want to live calmly, not bothered by money ups and downs. Because you know, you have more than you show. You own more than you explain. You influence more than you'll ever need to prove. That's how money works for the smart person. It's not loud, it's not frantic, it's not desperate. It's just there, like a shadow behind every move, reminding the world that your power isn't in your possessions. It's in your smart setup, your self-control, and the silence no one can understand. If you're on a path of self-discovery and are ready to learn the unspoken rules of power, then join us. Subscribe to our channel and become part of a community dedicated to building real strength. We'll see you in the next video.